Vögel an der auftritt. Die Nummer 71, Bernd Radovic. Die Nummer 44, Tailo Enriquez. Und unser Starting Pitcher trägt die Nummer 45 auf dem Rücken und ist Juan Salazar. Noch dabei sind von unseren Jungs die Nummer 72, Simon Lechner, Nummer 33, Felix Ströll, die 49, Daniel Wolf, die 67, Miki Pinheiro, Jan-Andreas mit der 8, Adriano Penskofer mit der Nummer 4 und die Nummer 47, Tom Krüger. Unsere Coaches unterstützt. Ich freue mich, ihn wiederzusehen, habe ihn gleich schon erkannt. Enzo Krüger ist da. Alex Dunst, Pitching Coach, Ryan Gollinger und unser Head Coach. Einen riesengroßen Applaus für das erste Home Game. Bitte für unseren Coach Charles C. Poe. Jetzt darf ich an Tom übergeben, der muss jetzt ein bisschen lauter sprechen, Tom. Also.
Danke für eure Aufmerksamkeit. Wie ihr gerade merkt, die Batterie im Mikrofon ist leer. Das heißt, es stellt für mich heute vor eine gewisse Herausforderung. Aber ich hoffe, ihr könnt mich hören. Könnt ihr uns vielleicht einen zweiten Applaus geben, dass ich weiß, dass ihr uns hört? Schön, dass ihr heute hier seid. Erstes Heimspiel der Saison. Ihr habt wahrscheinlich schon gehört, dieses Jahr mehr Spiele, mehr Single Games, heißt mehr Baseball für uns. Wir haben uns über den Winter sehr viele Gedanken gemacht. Ihr habt gesehen, wir haben ein paar Spieler, die in andere Teams gegangen sind und teilweise auch ganz aufgehört haben. Nichtsdestotrotz, ich freue mich besonders und sehr, dass wir dieses Jahr auch wieder ein tolles Team auf die Beine gestellt haben und natürlich an vorderster Front. Und da bitte ich auch wirklich noch einmal für einen donnernden Applaus, weil er ist einfach der Coach, the man, Charles Poe.
Hello everybody, very happy to be here and look for a successful 2024. Thank you, guys.
Ihr habt gerade schon gehört, ein paar Namen habt ihr schon gehört, gerade eben in der Line-Up. Ein Name vielleicht auch, der ein bisschen schwieriger auszusprechen ist, aber ich möchte ganz herzlich auch um einen Applaus bitten für unsere neuen Spieler. Saido Enriquez, Patrick Llewellyn, Graham Luthor. Ihr wollt jetzt natürlich nicht mich sehen, sondern ihr wollt unseren Bürgermeister sehen, richtig?
Das wollen wir alle, ja.
Hast du trainiert?
Die ganze Nacht. Die ganze Nacht. Wir haben heute Maibaumwache gehabt. Ich bin um 7:30 heimgekommen, genau. Richtig Schwung heute.
Also, da bin ich jetzt mal auf das Training, ja. Da wollen wir ihn auch mal ein bisschen musikalisch unterstützen. Höher uns an. Andreas Bukowski. Jawohl, ja.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another season of Haar Disciples Baseball. My name is Tim Collins. I'm very pleased to be with you this afternoon. It is absolutely gorgeous weather here in Haar. Beautiful temperatures around 20 degrees centigrade, not a cloud in the sky, a light breeze blowing from left to right, and this is year 10, kicking off the 10th year of Haar Disciples Baseball broadcasts. And we are going to see the Hünstetten Storm. They are in town today to take on the Haar Disciples today and tomorrow. Hünstetten last weekend split their series in Stuttgart, and the Disciples opened up with a couple of losses in Mainz, and they will try to right the ship. Last year, these two teams split the 4 games that they played. As Hünstetten has put together a strong team, this is only their 2nd year in the Bundesliga, but they played the Disciples very tough last year, and they played the Stuttgart Reds tough last weekend. As so they travel here to Haar this weekend, and you see the meeting between Nick Pupo, the coach of the Storm, and Charles Poe, the coach of the Disciples. Pupo is from Spokane, Washington, was brought in this year to be the coach of the Bundesliga team. And Charles Poe was also brought in this year. Charles Poe has a long history with international baseball. Of course, he was a minor league coach for the White Sox, A's and Padres going back years, but then also was coaching in Taiwan with the Rakuten Monkeys, and that is part of where the connection to the Haar Disciples comes in. You see Charles Poe coached Ryan Bollinger way back when he was a draftee of the White Sox, or when he was not a draftee, but rather was in the White Sox minor league system. And then they worked together again when Ryan was in Taiwan a couple of years ago. And so the roads have led back to Munich for both Bollinger and Charles Poe. And you see the meeting taking place between the umpires. They're discussing the ground rules for this ballpark. One of the largest ballparks in the Bundesliga South, if not the largest. Center field straight away is about 450 feet. And then there's a 50-foot high fence out there. So no one's going to hit the ball over that, except maybe, if Aaron Judge were to come and take batting practice here. However, there is a net that goes atop the fence all the way around from foul line to foul line, and that net is actually a home run. If a ball hits the net, it does not necessarily have to leave the park to be a home run. Usually if it just hits the net, there is a line indicated. Well, at least on the left side of the field there's a line. I don't see a line on the right side of the field, but I imagine it's going to be the same rule. Well, actually, that's curious. That's a good question. things I'm just noticing for the first time as I just get to the ballpark, spend all the time setting up, and then now I'm taking a second to look out at the field and see what it is I'm actually trying to describe to you all. And maybe this is the whole thing that I'm thinking out loud right now might be exactly why this is one of the longer not mound meetings, but coaches meetings, home plate meetings, whatever you want to call it. This has got to be on the long side. The game was delayed already because of a pregame ceremony with the Bürgermeister, the mayor of Haar, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, and also a very nice introduction of Charles Poe, who came out and introduced himself to the fans as I tried to turn the mics up that you would hear. You know, it was because the microphone battery had died that they all had to just speak with their voices, and the fans had to be quiet and listen. That actually made it kind of a nice and intimate experience, and it felt very warm and neighborly, I have to say. And there are a lot of fans here today. Last year, I have to say, the Disciples drew more fans than I ever remember. Every home game was about like this. It looks to me like there's maybe 100 people here, 150. Perfect weather for this. And the Disciples are hoping for a perfect day of baseball, also including a win. The young right-hander, Juan Salazar, is going to take the mound. And I will give you the defensive lineup first for the Disciples. Backing him up on the infield is Callum Murphy at third base. Zaino Henriquez, the new addition, is playing shortstop. Patrick Music is at second base. Graham Luter just arrived this week and getting into his first action with the Disciples. He is playing first base. The outfield from left to right is Anderson Zambrano in left, also a new addition. Fildrick Llewellyn, of course, last year we saw him in the playoffs. He's playing center field, and Luke Steinlein is playing right field. The catcher is Will Thorpe, as usual, behind the plate. There you see him. He told me before the game that the Disciples really, really love what Juan Salazar brings. He did not have a good weekend last weekend in Mainz, but he's got a lot of talent, and he's very young. He's got a Spanish passport. He played with the Spanish national team at the Under-23 World Championships. And Will told me that when they went to the Czech Republic, he dominated some of the hitters from the Extraliga. So the youngster is going to get his first home start here in the yellow and white for the Haar Disciples. He's also, of course, a product of the Regensburg Baseball Academy. And the lineup he's going to face for Hünstetten begins with Vicente Velasquez, the shortstop. Jake Gentry is playing first base, and he will bat second. Victor Velasquez, the catcher, is going to bat third. Jose Pimentel is the starting pitcher and cleanup hitter, making Shohei Ohtani proud. Rogelio Maldonado is in center field. He's batting fifth. Daniel Martins is playing third base. He's batting sixth. Phil Meyer is in right field. He will bat seventh. Yannick Kiss is the second baseman. He's batting eighth. And Douglas Yoakum in left field is going to bat ninth. So no DH for the Storm. That's also what they did last weekend. They have 4 players on the bench. The Disciples have 3 bench players and 4 pitchers, so the Disciples overall with a deeper roster here today. So this game is getting ready to start. Looks like maybe about 15, 16 minutes too late, as it was scheduled for 1 o'clock, but no stress with the sun or anything today. Umpire says play ball, and Juan Salazar kicks and deals. The first pitch is in there for a strike, and we are underway at 1:15. Vicente Velasquez, who last weekend was 3 for 7 against Stuttgart, also scored 4 runs. Takes strike 2 on the outside corner. Velasquez had 2 doubles. He also was 2 for 2 in stolen bases and walked once. So if he gets on base, you can expect him to try to run. And a conversation right now, Velasquez talking with Thomas Schlugel, the home plate umpire. 0-2, and the pitch, that's down and away. First base umpire is Hans-Joachim Goller. Third base umpire is Lars Doling. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Salazar to Vicente Velasquez. Shot foul out of play off to the right, still 1-2. Well, last weekend in Mainz, Velasquez did not escape the first inning. Might have been a case of opening day jitters. Mainz, of course, is a very imposing ballpark. I think they had over 700 fans. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Good block by Thorpe. He will complete the play to first. And a very good beginning as the strikeout with the play going 2-3 is how this game starts. Salazar, good breaking ball, downward movement. Look at that. With 2 strikes, and now Jake Gentry will step up to the plate. Gentry, who attended Cal State Fullerton. Last weekend was 3 for 4. He was all over the place. Left-hand hitter, he's got power. Stands all the way to the front of the batter's box, very close to the plate, Anthony Rizzo style. And he looks at a pitch a little bit too low. 1 ball and no strikes. Just getting started. Top of the first, nobody out. Excuse me, nobody on, 1 out. And that one is low, 2-0 to Gentry. Gentry, of his 3 hits he had last weekend in Stuttgart, 2 of them were for extra bases. He had the first home run of the season. That pitch is high and outside, 3-0. He also had a double. Also stole a base and walked 4 times. So he was on base 7 out of 8 plate appearances. Taking on 3-0, and that one's in there for a strike. Nothing but fastballs so far. Juan Salazar is 18 years old. We're going to see some youngsters for the Disciples this year. Fly ball barreled to left field. This is a long run for Zambrano, and he gets there. Nice play by Anderson Zambrano. A very good read and good speed to close. That ball was fair had it landed. And so there are 2 away. And that will bring up the number 3 hitter, Victor Velasquez, the catcher. Velasquez was 4 out of 7 last week. Hünstetten lost the first game 13-9 against Stuttgart last weekend. Then they won a nail-biter 4-3. That pitch is high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Velasquez. And a pop foul out of play, 1-1. Velasquez had 2 doubles out of his 4 hits. He also drove in 4 runs, also walked last weekend. And he waves and misses at a breaking pitch. With Salazar looking pretty sharp so far. 1-2. And he tries that pitch a little bit further down and away, and this time no bite from Velasquez. Salazar is working quickly. Obviously, in the major leagues the last 2 years, there's the pitch clock. Not here. But I sort of wondered this last year with Steve Norrell, the former college pitcher in the U.S. who was with the Disciples. Strike 3 called. And I'll finish the story in the next half of the inning. Juan Salazar, 1, 2, 3, and go get him. Good beginning for the Disciples. 2 strikeouts, no hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on base at the end of a half inning of play. This is Haar Disciples baseball. The Hünstetten Storm, nothing. The Haar Disciples coming to bat. We are brought to you by Brauerei Wildbräu. So we go to the bottom of the first inning. Hünstetten went down 1-2-3 against Juan Salazar in the top half. And the Disciples will send Patrick Music, Luke Steinlein, and Friedrich Llewellyn to the plate. 1, 2, and 3 against the right-hander Jose Pimentel. Tell you more about the defensive alignment in a second. First, the rest of the lineup. As I mentioned, it's Music, Steinlein, and Llewellyn, 1, 2, 3. And then the newcomer, Graham Luder, is playing first base. He's batting fourth. Callum Murphy bats fifth. Will Thorpe bats sixth. Anderson Zambrano bats seventh. Bernd Radovic, affectionately known as Beastie Radovic, who just turned 40 last week, or about 2 weeks ago. He'll be so pleased I told you all that. He's going to be the DH batting eighth. And then Zaino Henriquez is going to bat ninth. So defensively behind Pimentel, you have Daniel Martins at third, Vicente Velasquez at short, Yannick Kiss is at second, Jake Gentry is at first, Victor Velasquez is catching, Doug Yoakum in left, Rogelio Maldonado in center, and Phil Meyer is in right. So Jose Pimentel did not pitch last weekend. So this is his first action for the Storm. And the first pitch to Patrick Music is low for a ball, 1-0. Music last weekend was 2 for 7. He had 2 walks and 2 runs batted in. 24 years old from Ardmore, Alabama. Outside 2-0. Pimentel also working pretty quickly, at least as far as one can tell from 2 pitches. Music sporting the purple socks today. He's got the shin guard on the front left leg. Fastball blazes the upper part of the zone, 2-1. Music also has a purple bat, so fully adorning the colors of the Disciples. Purple, yellow, white. That one is outside, 3-1. So far nothing but fastballs from Pimentel. Music steps out. Three balls, 1 strike. Outside, ball 4. So leadoff walk, and Patrick Music is aboard. Let's see if he's going to elect to do any base running. I think the Disciples might first wait a little bit to see what kind of control Pimentel has. Luke Steinlein, who was 1 for 5 last weekend, will step up to the plate. There you see Patrick Music being held on by Jake Gentry. Steinlein had 2 walks and a hit by pitch last weekend, also got an RBI. And they check on Music, and he dives back. He's got a pretty big lead over there. Steinlein has good opposite field bat to ball skills, and the pitch is outside for a ball. I suspect he will take a strike. Looks down at Charles Poe, giving signs. Pretty big hole on the right side as Kiss is shaded up the middle. And of course, Gentry has to hold Music on first base. He's not going, and the pitch is low and outside. Now he's going. A delayed steal, and he's in there as nobody was covering. So I specifically was watching to see if he was going to go. He didn't go, and then he waited until he saw a hesitation. So a stolen base for Patrick Music, and right away the Disciples have a runner in scoring position. The count is 2 balls and no strikes on Luke Steinlein, so now he could drive in a run. Friedrich Llewellyn is on deck. The pitch, swing and a miss, late on the fastball. Pimentel checks on Music at second base. Nobody out. And the 2-1. That's outside. 3-1. Three and 1 to Steinlein. And a check on him. Nothing doing. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Juan Salazar pitched a very strong top of the first. The Disciples trying to give him some backup here in the bottom. That one is drilled to right center field. Ranging over to make the catch is Meyer. He gloves it, and Music has to go back to second base. Steinlein hit that ball on the nose. But a good play by Phil Meyer in right field to run it down. Watch that on the replay. Solid contact. I told you Steinlein, that's really his lane when he drives the ball in that direction. That's what he likes to do. He kind of has an inside-out swing, but he really can drive the gap. So now Fildrick Llewellyn, center field today for the Disciples. He was 3 for 8 last weekend in his Disciples debut with the Mainz Athletics. And the pitch. Of course, Llewellyn has been in the Bundesliga for some time, playing up in the north. One ball, no strikes to him. Music on second base, 1 out. Swing and a miss. Big swing by Fildrick Llewellyn. And the count 1-1. Llewellyn is from Curacao, as is Zaino Henriquez. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. An even more hefty cut. But he did not get cheated on those 2 swings. So the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 1 out. Patrick Music on second base, no score, bottom of the first. And Pimentel's pitch. Ground ball, a big bouncer up the middle and into center field. Base hit, Music being waved around. He's going to score without a throw. A kangaroo bounce single for Fildrick Llewellyn, and the Disciples lead 1-0.
Ground ball here, and dann ist Patrick Music daheim.
That ball looked like it hit the lip of the grass right in front of the batter's box. Watch this. And it just bounced super high in the air over Pimentel's head. And the next time it came down, it was already behind the bag in second base and got between Kiss and Velasquez. So a base hit gives the Disciples a 1-0 lead. And now Llewellyn, who stole the base last weekend, he's on first base. And now here is Graham Luter. He's a Canadian with a Hungarian passport. And so he and I share roots. Pitch is down and in. He attended Midway University in Kentucky. Just arrived, I guess, this week. Was not in Mainz last weekend. Big hulking right-hand hitter. Breaking ball is taken low, 2-0 to Graham Luter, checking the signs from Poe. Fildrick Llewellyn is on first base. He would probably stay put. This is a hitter's count, 2-0. Luter, 26 years of age. And that's way outside, nowhere close. Pimentel has not been getting ahead of the hitters. You can see sometimes he's trying to overthrow a little bit. So now he's behind 3-0. Cal Murphy's on deck. Probably a green light here for Luter. Why not? There goes, well, it was a fake. The pitch is inside. And that's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the inning. And so now Llewellyn goes to second base, and that will bring up Callum Murphy. There's 1 out. Callum Murphy was 0 for 5 last weekend, but he did draw a couple of walks. A short meeting between Daniel Martins and Jose Pimentel on the mound, trying to get Jose to settle down a bit. 2 outs, 2 on, 1 out, and the pitch. Murphy swings and misses at a pitch upstairs, 1-0. One strike to count. I got to get the cobwebs out between balls and strikes here. It's my first game of the season too, you know. 0-1 on Callum Murphy. Pimentel from the stretch. Breaking ball, and that's the first good one he's thrown, and it's in there for a strike. He threw a couple of those that were down and out, but mostly it's been fastballs. So Murphy got to be thinking, why me? He's behind 0-2 after Pimentel was behind everybody. There's a ground ball pulled foul. Waited on the breaking ball that time. Well, if the Storm, of course, they're hoping for a ground ball, try to get double play. Llewellyn is at second base. Luder is at first. There's the 0-2. Fastball down the pipe, strike 3. And that's an important second out as Pimentel went back to his strength there on that pitch. Take another look at this one on the replay. Murphy caught looking for something else, I think, on that one. So now Will Thorpe. The Disciples lead 1-0. The RBI single off the bat of Fildrick Llewellyn. Thorpe last weekend was 0 for 3. He did score a run and drew a walk. Ducks on the pond here in the bottom of the first inning. And Pimentel from the stretch deals high. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners leading first and second. Infield and outfield playing straight away. A fly ball to right center field. Myers drifting over, he's under it, and he puts it away for the third out. But the Disciples get a run. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left at the end of 1 inning of play. It's the Haar Disciples 1, the Hünstetten Storm nothing. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the good folks at the Brauerei Wildbräu. To the top of the second inning here in Haar. Even more fans are filing into the ballpark. This is a very nice crowd. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the weather could not be better. I mean, this is beer garden weather at its finest. And why not go to a beer garden that also has a baseball game going on? And so, Jose Pimentel, the starting pitcher, batting cleanup, is going to go into the batter's box against Juan Salazar, his counterpart. And the first pitch is a strike. 4-5-6 for the Storm. Pimentel, then Rogelio Maldonado and Daniel Martins against Salazar, who just threw his 16th pitch. Ground ball slowly hit left side. Murphy charges, gloves, sets, and throws him out. 1 away. Pimentel. You know, I did not see him pitch last weekend, but when I talked to Will Thorpe for the game, he said he looked kind of like a different pitcher after he got a little rattled by the Mainz Athletics. Well, today he looks like a completely different pitcher from whatever it was last week. He looks composed and cool, and he's throwing strikes. Rogelio Maldonado steps up, takes a pitch outside. Maldonado, 41 years young. So we got Radovic on the Disciples side, Maldonado on the Storm side, and he drills that ball to center field, but Llewellyn is right there to pull it down. I remember Maldonado from last year. He can play. And he hit that ball on the nose, but it's a very quick second out. And so Daniel Martins will step up to the plate. So far 5 up and 5 down for Juan Salazar, the 18-year-old right-hander. Disciples leading 1-0 here, 2 outs, top of the second inning. Martins last weekend was 1 out of 8 with a run batted in, and he takes a pitch high. That, of course, against Stuttgart. Salazar, excuse me, works exclusively from the first base side of the rubber. Doesn't get the call on that pitch, tailing inside, so the count 2-0. Got a very abbreviated pitching motion. He settles his foot on the slab and then just a little quick step and a lift and just misses low and outside. Boy, those are the type of spots when a pitcher is missing, but you're just missing in those spots. Those are good spots to miss. They're still quality pitches. And the 3-0 gets the call on that, 3-1. Martins thought maybe it was going to be ball 4, but you know, that's a well-documented thing. A lot of times the strike zone, whether it's intentional or not, it gets a little bigger on 3-0. So now the count 3-1, and that's low ball 4. So that ends the streak of consecutive batters retired after 5 in a row set down to start the game. Now Martins is the first base runner for the Storm, and that will bring up Phil Meyer. Meyer playing right field. He's already made a couple of catches today in the game. He was the starting pitcher last weekend in Stuttgart for game 1. And he also, with the bat, went 1 for 5 over the weekend, including 2 runs scored and a triple. That was his one hit, was a triple. He also walked twice. Martins at first base. He did attempt to steal last week, but he was thrown out. The pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. Nick Pupo giving the signs down the third base line. 2 very experienced coaches with these 2 teams. Pupo on the side of the Storm and Poe for the Disciples. There's a good pitch. Strike at the knees from Salazar to Meyer. 1-1 the count now. And Pupo, I mentioned he's from Spokane, Washington, the coach for the Storm. There's a nice pick at first base by Luder, who saved that ball from getting behind. So Meyer now calls time to dust himself off. Nick Pupo from Washington State, Spokane, Washington. He's coached all levels. He's coached a lot of high school and American Legion ball back in the day in the U.S. And he also worked for the Lenny Randall Baseball Academy. And if you want a really nerdy fun fact, is that ball has popped up a long run down the right field line. Can Steinlein get there? No, he can't. It's foul ball, 1-2. Lenny Randall, if you've ever seen any old highlight clips, he's the guy who was playing third base, I believe, for the Mariners. And somebody dropped down a bunt, and he tried to blow the ball foul and was overruled, I believe. So, yeah. That's what I associate with the name Lenny Randall. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Phil Meyer. 2 outs and another check on the runner at first base, Martins. This time looked like he maybe didn't see the ball as he was going back into the bag. He was ducking to get out of the way. And the pitch, breaking ball, is taken low. That was a pretty good take by Meyer. That's the same pitch that Salazar got a swing and a miss on in the first inning. 2-2 now. Martins on first. Longer hold. Now the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Zaino Henriquez shovels it to Music, and they get the force to end the inning. So 6-4 goes the play. At the end of 1.5 innings of play, it's the Haar Disciples 1, Hünstetten Storm 0. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. We move to the bottom of the second inning here in Haar, 1-0 Disciples. And just folks, I want to mention, if you would like to interact with me on this broadcast, you can do so by logging into the live chat on the YouTube link. However, you must subscribe to this channel, so feel free to create yourself a YouTube account and subscribe, or you can just log in with your Google account and subscribe. It always helps the channel, actually, if you hit the like button and if you subscribe. And I suppose if you really feel inclined, you can send like super thanks and all that kind of stuff. You know, we all love this sport out here, and so we're just trying to do everything we can to help promote it and help it grow. And it's a labor of love. So anyway, you want to support, that would be great. And the least you could do is just hit the like button and send the link around, and also subscribe, and then you can say hello in the chat. So we move to the bottom of the second inning for the Disciples. 7-8-9. Anderson Zambrano swings at the first pitch, grounds it to short. The throw to first base is in time by Vicente Velasquez. 6-3 on the putout. One pitch and one out. Barely had time to tell you that Zambrano is 19 years of age, also from the Regensburg Academy. And so now Bernd Beastie Radovic, the man who famously once took a pinch hit at bat wearing normal street shoes and swung at the first pitch and lined a base hit because he was afraid the umpire would recognize him. The pitch is high. I might be, I wonder if I'm messing up some of the facts of that story. I will ask him after the game, and I'm going to tell that story every time he's in the lineup that I'm broadcasting. 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2. Radovic was 1 for 5 last weekend in Stuttgart. He's one of the guys who, you know, he's played for a long time, but he also does so much to help this team behind the scenes. And that foul ball lands just to my right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It didn't come near me, but it ricocheted off the tree and came down to my side. There's a high fastball, 2-2. Radovic has homered in the Bundesliga. He's got some experience in this league. And he swings and taps one foul. He's using a bat that also looks like it has a lot of experience in this league. The bat is worn. Using Old Faithful. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a high fly ball popped up left side, foul ground. Martins is underneath it and puts it away for the second out. And so Pimentel, after struggling with his control in the first inning, gets 2 quick outs here in the second. And now Zaino Henriquez, native of Curacao, a defensive wizard from what I understand. He's going to step up to the plate, batting from the left side. He was 1 out of 6 last weekend. And the pitch is high and outside. Hey, hello, Stephanie Music, watching from Ardmore. Now, I get confused. Now, Ardmore is in Tennessee, not in Alabama, correct? There's a line drive, down the line foul. And I know that I've had this conversation both with Patrick and with you, and I seem to always confuse. So Ardmore, I had written Ardmore, Alabama, because I read that somewhere. There's a swing and a foul. Ardmore, Tennessee. Either way, glad you're watching. Hope the weather there is as nice as it is here. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Zaino Henriquez. Very open stance, and he rolls that one past the mound. Going to be a tough play, and they just barely got him. Good play by the second baseman, Yannick Kiss. He did not have a lot of time. Enriquez was flying down the line, but he is out. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jose Pimentel. We go to the top of the third. It's 1-0 Disciples. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu and Ardmore, Tennessee / Alabama. There we go. That answered my question. Thank you so much. Weiter geht's. Oberen Hälfte des dritten Innings, top of the third inning. Welcome back to the ballpark. And Juan Salazar back on the mound, and he will deal with 8, 9, and 1. Yannick Kiss pops up a bunt attempt over the backstop and out of the ballpark against the tree. And now there are 1, 2, 3 kids climbing the fence, racing behind the tree. Who's going to get the ball? It looks like it rolled down the sidewalk and all the way to the other end of the park. That's going to be a long journey for whoever that kid is. Nope, I don't think they see it. It's in the trees. Anyway, 1 strike on Yannick Kiss. And the breaking ball missed outside. 1-1. Kiss 1 for 6 on the season. That was, of course, all last weekend. He does have an RBI and a walk. He is also a pitcher. The pitch is low, and he is he wants to go to college in the U.S. I found that he's got a GoFundMe up there. Looking for support from friends and family and teammates. The pitch is inside for ball 3, 3-1, so good luck to him in that journey if he would like to do that. Thank you very much, Ty, for the super thanks. And the pitch is a strike, 3-2. Juan Salazar has worked quickly. He's thrown strikes. He has only allowed 1 base runner. That was the 2-out walk to Daniel Martins last inning. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Popped foul out of play. 3-2. After Yannick Kiss, it'll be Douglas Jochum, and then the top of the order, Vicente Velasquez. 8, 9, and 1 for the Storm. Infield is straight away, as is the outfield. And the pitch. Just a little bit high, and Kiss draws the walk. I think he was not so sure himself. Take another look at that pitch. So a leadoff walk for Yannick Kiss, and now Douglas Jochum will step up to the plate. Just a little bit high. That's a tough one to take. So we're in the top of the third. Remember, this is going to be a 9-inning game. Bundesliga changed some of the rules. There's a check on the runner at first. He's back. For doubleheaders will be 7 innings. And the Disciples, I think they wanted to avoid that. So they want to play all single 9-inning games. More baseball. There's a good pitch. More baseball, more experience for their young players. More fun for the fans. 1 strike to count to Douglas Jochum, and that pitch is low, 1-1. Jochum last week was 2 for 5. His 2 hits were both doubles. In fact, deuces were wild with him. He scored 2 runs, had 2 runs batted in, and walked twice. So 2 hits that were both doubles. It's a lot of 2s. There's a tapper in front of the plate. It's a foul ball, called immediately by the home plate umpire, Thomas Schlögl. Must have made contact with Jochum while he was still in the batter's box. Take another look at it here. The count is 1-2. The ball came to rest at any rate in foul territory regardless. So 1-2 on Jochum with the runner at first base. The breaking ball just got a piece. Waited on it and was just able to get enough to foul it away and stay alive. Salazar trying to get the first out here in the third. 1-2. Check again on the runner. This was pretty close as Kiss was going back to the bag a little bit flat-footed and almost got caught in between strides. 1-2. Runner not going, and the pitch is high. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, Stephanie, looking forward to meet you guys when you come as well. See, this is the kind of interaction you can have with me if you log in on the chat. And the pitch, shot foul off to the right, and the count still 2-2.
Auf geht's, Juan. Auf geht's, unsere Disciples-Fans, für unsere Defense. Let's go, baby!
2 balls, 2 strikes. Juan Salazar comes set. Kiss off first, the pitch. And a liner knocked down by Salazar. He finds it, goes to second, and they get the lead runner. Very heads-up play. It was a line drive that Salazar almost caught on the fly, and it looked for a moment like he thought he had. But then he very calmly went and picked it up, and instead of panicking and throwing the ball to first, he very calmly threw to second because Kiss obviously had to wait on the line drive, and he had no chance. So that play will go 1-4. It's a fielder's choice. And now Joachim is at first base, and the top of the order, Vicente Velasquez, will step up to the plate. And greetings to Filbert Llewellyn, watching from West Palm Beach, Florida, not too far from where my mom is, I think. There's a check on the new runner at first base, Douglas Joachim, so now he's going to be subjected to that. Vicente Velasquez drops down a bunt, and it's rolling, and it goes foul. That was a very good bunt, but thanks to the topography of the third baseline, it rolled foul. Velasquez struck out to start the game. There's one away. Kiss is, Joachim is the runner at first base. And Velasquez with a one-strike count. Juan Salazar looking intently for the sign from Thorpe. He's got it. Joachim a very short lead at first. And the pitch misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Second time through the order. There's a slow ground ball to third off the glove of Murphy, and it trickles past Enriquez. And everybody will be safe. See how that will get scored. So it was a slow ground ball. Good pitch by Salazar. You can see Vicente kind of rolled it over. And Murphy was ranging to his left, and the ball hit off of his glove, and then it deflected away from Enriquez. But Enriquez very alertly reminding Murphy to go back to the bag and cover. So those are the types of plays where you got to make sure not to lose your focus. So now Jake Gentry, a dangerous hitter with 2 on. And he looks at a fastball high, 1 ball, no strikes. And I believe that has been scored a base hit. So that's the first hit for the Storm against Juan Salazar. Gentry looks at strike 1 on the outside corner of the knees. Interacting with Dr. No Skills. Dr. No Skills, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you may be. I hope the weather is as nice for you as it is for me, no matter how far away we are from each other. It's this guy right here. That's him. That guy. That's him. 2 balls and a strike on Jake Gentry. Swinging a foul tip into the mitt, 2-2 off speed pitch. Gentry out in front. Good pitch from Salazar. So second time through, now you're starting to see a little bit more variety. Salazar mostly using the fastball to get ahead the first couple innings. Now he steps off. I think maybe Thorpe is going through different signs. Obviously no pitch comm here, so you still got the old school succession of signs. There's a line drive base hit to left center field. And Joachim had to hold up initially, but now he's being waved in, and he will score to tie the game. RBI single off the bat of Jake Gentry. Velasquez went first to third on that, and this game is tied 1-1. Looked like a pitch that was down and away. Gentry with 2 strikes, tried not to do too much with it, just lined it. You could see, good piece of hitting, and lined it right over Henriquez's head. And now Ryan Bollinger out to the mound to have a chat with the young pitcher, Juan Salazar, along with Will Thorpe. So the game is tied at 1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Remember, the Disciples this year, they really like a lot of the young players they've got. And I mean, so far I've only seen 2 innings, but I have to say I can see why they feel that way. The arm of Juan Salazar, even Zambrano running and making that nice catch in left field. You see Henriquez legging out a ground ball. There's some speed in this team and youth. You also have the young catcher Felix Stroll, who I believe is 16. Very nearly hit a home run in batting practice today. So some good young talent. And, you know, I've said it before, the Bundesliga is an interesting place because you have sometimes former professional or, you know, even current professional players. The runner goes, pitches a breaking ball strike, throw to second base, and they got him. Perfect throw by Will Thorpe to throw out Jake Gentry for the 2nd out. But that was absolutely perfectly executed. If I can combine a few adverbs there. Check out the pitch. Pinpoint breaking ball, Thorpe's throw on the money. And so there are 2 down. And now a runner at 3rd. And 1 out, 2 outs. 1 strike is the count to Victor Velasquez, and the breaking ball's outside. Anyway, what I was going to say about the Bundesliga, you have experienced veteran professionals who have played all over the world, and then you have 16-year-olds in the same league. And sure, it can be an uphill battle for some of those youngsters, but that experience can also be very, very valuable. There's a good block by Thorpe. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. And so we're going to see the youth for the Disciples right now. Juan Salazar, 18. Against Victor Velasquez, who struck out the first time. And that pitch is outside, 3-1. A little bit more nibbly this time around. Three balls and a strike. Infield is back. Fly ball to deep right field. This is sending Steinlein back, and he's got room to make the catch.
Got it, baby.
So, all in all, a good recovery thanks to the excellent throw by Will Thorpe and some quality pitching. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Haar. We are tied at 1. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. Welcome back to Hard Disciples Ballpark on a beautiful afternoon, Saturday, April 13th. It's about 5 minutes past 2 p.m. here local time. And Patrick Music, the top of the order, is going to try to set the tone for the Disciples. And he swings and hits a fly ball to shallow right field for Philip Meyer to come in. Makes the catch. One away. Top of the order for the Disciples after Music, it's going to be Luke Steinlein and Fildrick Llewellyn against Jose Pimentel. Pimentel struggled greatly in the first inning with his command, but then was able to get through the second inning, 1, 2, 3. So the Disciples scored their run in the first inning on an RBI hit off the bat of Fildrick Llewellyn. Luke Steinlein, however, drove a ball deep to right center field his first time. He had a very good swing. The pitch is a strike on the inside corner, the letters, and Steinlein seems a bit surprised. 0-1. And a good curveball. That one's in there for a strike. Steinlein turning away from that. And the count 0-2. Pimentel has found his command in the last inning or so. That breaking ball is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a drive to left center field. Joachim is ranging over, and it's over his head, and it's going to bounce all the way to the fence. Steinlein is racing around second base. He takes a big turn and decides to hold on. They throw behind him, and he is out. He was caught going too far around the bag. Heads up play by the shortstop Velasquez. The play went from Joachim to Velasquez to Kiss, and so Steinlein, who doubled, is then put out 7-6-4. So it's a double. But Steinlein, who got a little too aggressive, was caught at second base. That's a good play by both Velasquez and Kiss, alertly going in to back him up. And the first pitch to Llewellyn is high and outside for a ball. So the Disciples a little bit overzealous so far in this game. They've had opportunities, but so far we're still tied at 1. Llewellyn with a swing and a foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Fildrick. Llewellyn has power. He drove in the Disciples' run with a ground ball single. He shows bunt, takes a breaking ball. That is called a strike. And he's got a big smile on his face. Not sure that means he's happy, though. 1-2. This one is tapped weakly foul off to the right side. Another breaking ball. Now, Pimentel has shown a couple good breaking balls. You had Steinlein spinning out of the box on one, and then now Llewellyn did it a couple of pitches ago. 1-2 with 2 outs. Breaking ball, this one just missed inside, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. After Llewellyn, if he can reach Graham Luter. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So now, that is actually 8 in a row set down. Well, I guess the double negates all that, but still, the last 8 batters have made out for the Disciples, put it that way, against Jose Pimentel. No runs, a hit, but no errors and nobody left. At the end of 3 complete, we are tied at 1. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. So we go to the 4th inning. Juan Salazar has given up 1 run on 2 hits. He has walked 2. And he's thrown 56 pitches, and he's going to face 4, 5, and 6 from the Hünstetten Storm. That is Jose Pimentel, Rogelio Maldonado, and Daniel Martins. So Pimentel steps up. Pimentel has settled down on the mound side of things, and he hits a big bouncer to short, charged by Henriquez, who gloves and flips to first. 1 away after 1 pitch. And that will bring up Rogelio Maldonado. Maldonado flied to center field, hit the ball hard, however, his first time. After the 1 pitch, 1 out, Salazar looking to do battle with Maldonado. And the right-hander kicks and deals. There's a strike. 0-1. There's another one. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Looked like an off-speed pitch of some sort. Maybe a breaking ball, slider. Maldonado swings right through it. 0-2. And he got him on 3 straight. 2 down. That's the 3rd strikeout for Juan Salazar. Breaking ball going down and away from Maldonado. And so after 4 pitches, 2 quick outs, now Daniel Martins will step up to the plate. Martins walked his first time and then was forced out at second base. A little bit low, 1-0. Breaking ball missed outside. Schlegel looked for a minute like he was going to raise the right arm and then decided against it. 2 balls, no strikes on Daniel Martins. That's low, 3-0. And now Salazar taking advantage of the time that he is allowed to calm himself down. 3-0. Strike called on the inside corner. And Martins has to backtrack. Popped foul, now the count's full. Well, he's come back from 3-0, now to make it 3-2. We are tied at 1 in the top of the 4th inning on a just perfect day for baseball. Usually in April, there's no leaves even on the trees. There's a line drive right center field. That's going to be a base hit in front of Steinlein. But you got to like that. If you're Salazar, you'd rather give up the hit than walk a guy with 2 outs. Make him at least earn it. Martins put a good swing on that, lined it to right center field. And so there's a runner at first base with 2 outs for Phil Meyer. And so Meyer, who grounded into that fielder's choice his first time, steps up to the plate. Right-hand hitter. Martins at first, and the pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Salazar again walks to the back of the mound to adjust his cap. And check on the runner. He is back. And now time is called at the plate. All right, 1 ball, no strikes on Phil Meyer, runner on first base with 2 down. And a half swing didn't mean to, and the ball is knocked foul off to the right. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch was up. And Salazar again steps off the mound. Meyer again steps out of the box. I think we're waiting for that ball to be retrieved down the right field line. That is indeed the case. 1 ball, 1 strike on Meyer. Daniel Martins is the runner at first base. 2 down. We're in the top of the 4th. Swing and a miss. There's that good breaking ball. He has located that pitch very well today. One and 2. And again, a check on the runner. Nothing doing over there. And another, this time. Okay, yeah, Martins had not even left the bag to take his lead. If you're the pitcher Salazar, you might as well focus your energy on the 2 strikes you have on the batter at the plate with 2 outs, rather than concerning yourself too much with Martins at first base. The count is now 2 and 2 after that pitch down and in. Just need to make 1 good pitch to get out of the inning. You don't really have to worry about the runner. That's why it's a good time to run. If you're Martins at first base, 2 and 2 is a running count. He's not going. The pitch is strike 3 called in the outside corner. Salazar with his 4th punch out of the game, and he has pitched very well through 4 innings. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Haar, tied at 1. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by Brauerei Wildbräu. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Haar, tied at 1, the Storm and the Disciples. And Graham Luter, who walked in his first at bat as a Disciple, is going to step up. 4, 5, and 6 for the Disciples against Jose Pimentel. Pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes. We are underway here in the 4th. Luter and then Callum Murphy and Will Thorpe. That's way outside, 2-0. Luter did not see anything near the strike zone in his first at bat, and so far, 2 pitches nowhere close in his second at bat. There's a high bounce to shortstop, fielded out of the air from Velasquez, who fires over to first. Boy, that dirt must be super hot. We have had some warm weather here the past few weeks in Haar, but that ball hit the lip of the grass in front of the batter's box and then caromed about 50 feet in the air. and went all the way to the shortstop in his normal position. And then he fired to first. So Velasquez throws out Luter, and there's one away. So now Callum Murphy steps up, pitches high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pimentel working quickly now. That's outside, 2-0. I think I started to talk about it when one of the innings ended a few innings ago, but there's no pitch clock here, but the trend is towards pitchers that work quickly anyway. We saw, I first noticed that last year, Steve Norrell, the Disciples pitcher that was brought over. That's ball 4. He worked very quickly. I mean, a lot of U.S. pitchers that went to college, they've been using the pitch clock for more than I think the major leagues have. So they're already used to it. And so even when there isn't one, I think the general pace is a bit quicker than it would have been otherwise, simply because of the culture around pitch clocks in a lot of baseball development places. And I don't know if that's the case with Pimentel, but he is working quickly, and Salazar was also working quickly. So now Will Thorpe at the plate. Thorpe flied to center field his first time. Looks at a good breaking ball from Pimentel. That's in for a strike, 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count to Thorpe with Murphy on first base. And this one nearly thrown away. That was a good stop by Velasquez, Victor Velasquez behind the plate. He had to really reach across his body and stop that thing from going through. That would have allowed Callum Murphy to advance. 1-1 on Thorpe. Fouled away as Thorpe was, I think, waiting for that breaking ball, and he just missed it. And now the kids go running. This one they don't have to climb any fences to get after, however. One ball, 2 strikes on Will Thorpe with Cal Murphy on first base. There's 1 out in the inning. Popped up, foul behind the plate. Velasquez gives it a look. Does he have a play? He does. That was not easy. And he made the catch a few steps from the fence, and Thorpe is out number 2. Looking up into a cloudless sky where the sun is very bright, and then also having to try to gauge how far from the fence he was. And the ball was not popped up all that high, so he didn't have a whole lot of time to even get over there. So it's a good play by Velasquez. Now Anderson Zambrano. There's a check on Murphy at first. He's back. Zambrano swung at the first pitch he saw and grounded out to shortstop his first time. And this one is inside and high. 1-0. You wonder if maybe Murphy might try to take off here. This one was a breaking ball, and Zambrano again was bending away. That tells you what kind of movement the pitch has, but it missed inside, so the count 2-0. Pimentel has walked 3. He's given up 2 hits. And that one missed low, ball 3. Three balls and no strikes. Zambrano, I think, will be taking here. Radovic is on deck. And it's inside, ball 4. 4th walk. 2nd of the inning. Issued by Pimentel. He walked 2 in the first. And then did not walk anybody in the 2nd or 3rd. He did allow that double to Steinlein, but then Steinlein was thrown out after he rounded the bag too far. And now 2 walks in this inning for Bernd Radovic, the designated hitter. Radovic fouled out his first time to third base. And a check on the runners. Tied at 1. The Disciples have had base runners in every inning except the 2nd. And the pitch, that's outside. Pimentel is prone to bouts of wildness. Storm, of course, relying on him to try to get through this inning. Pitch, that's outside, 2-0. On Radovic. I imagine he might be taking here. 62 pitches now for Pimentel, and the pitch he is taking, and it's in there for a strike. 2-1. 2-2. But if you're anywhere near the ballpark tomorrow and you're thinking of coming, let me tell you, you should come. There's a throw behind the runner at second base. He is back, and the throw goes into center field. And now Murphy will take third base. That's going to be an error on the catcher. The pitch was high for a ball. He was just trying to backpick Murphy, who got back in plenty of time, but then the throw skidded through the legs of Yannick Kiss. So I believe that's going to be a throwing error on the catcher. And so three balls and one strike. So now Radovic with a potential RBI 90 feet away. The pitch fouled away. A good cut by Barent directly over my head. 3-2 now. The runner from first will go. Jake Gentry is still holding Mon, however. That's Thorpe on, Zambrano is on first. There he goes. The pitch is low, and the bases are loaded. 3 walks in the inning. So now that error doesn't play any factor into any potential scoring. And Zaino Henriquez, the number 9 hitter, is going to come up with a big chance here. Henriquez, who nearly beat out a soft ground ball to second base his first time. Servus, schöne Grüße an the folks from Idstein. Also ich muss ehrlich sagen, ich weiß nicht, wo genau Idstein ist. Vielleicht in der Nähe von Hünstetten. Aber vielen Dank, dass ihr da reinhört. Thanks for watching, folks. The pitch to Henriquez is a strike. Henriquez with the bases loaded. I told you he was 1 for 6 last weekend. Boy, a hit here. We're driving a run or two. The pitch is way outside, and it goes to the backstop, and in comes Callum Murphy to score. The other runners move up. It's a wild pitch, and the Disciples lead 2-1. Well, that was also a possibility in addition to getting a base hit. But that breaking ball was well out of the reach of Velasquez behind the plate, Victor Velasquez. And now Nick Pupo is going to go out to the mound and have a chat with Jose Pimentel and discuss. It may not be much of a discussion. It might just be a reminder that there are 2 outs in the inning. And this inning is completely the doing of Pimentel. 3 walks and now a wild pitch. The Disciples have simply waited him out in this inning. Pupo and Pimentel are meeting, they're not meeting on the mound. They're kind of off to the side, which is a little bit unusual, but a pat on the backside, and now Pimentel is going to stay in there. And Pupo will return to the dugout. So Zaino Henriquez, native of Curacao as well, has played, I believe he's played in Italy, so he's been in some top-level leagues and has some experience. As I mentioned, he's known for his glove, but he certainly has some speed, and he's in a big spot here. And no reason he can't come through. Runners on second and third, and this one hits him. And now Pimentel has completely lost all control. And you can see from his body language, he might be done. Maybe he just ran out of gas. So the bases are now loaded, and now the top of the order. Patrick Music will step up to the plate. Music walked and scored in the first, flied out. Pimentel is still in there. Usually after a meeting, the first pitch hits the batter. That might be an indicator that he's done, but he's going to try to at least get one more out. The pitch is high. Pimentel, you can see he's trying to carefully guide the ball into the strike zone at this point. Sometimes when you're running on fumes, that's all you can do. Breaking ball. Now that was a good one. 1-1. That's another thing. When a pitcher is getting tired, sometimes the breaking stuff gets better. 1 ball and 1 strike. A ground ball slowly hit past the mound, fielded by Kiss. He shovels to the shortstop Velasquez, and they get the force to end the inning. But the Disciples get a run. They got 1 run on no hits. No hits, 3 walks, a hit batter, and a wild pitch. No errors, 3 left on base. Just update my scorebook here. It was Radovic that was put out, 4-6 for the 3rd out. And the Disciples, after 4 innings, lead this game 2-1. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. We move to the top of the 5th inning here in Haar. Just perfect weather here. And a great atmosphere. Lots of fans in the ballpark. Really great to see this. And it's a good time. Camera, sorry. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. There's a fly ball hit to center field. Llewellyn is drifting very calmly and coolly underneath it, and he puts it away. 1 away. He sort of cradled that ball in his chest as he gloved that in center field, did Frederick Llewellyn. And so now Douglas Yoakum, the number 9 hitter. After that, top of the order, Vicente Velasquez will step up. And the pitch is low for a ball. Yoakum reached on a fielder's choice, but then scored in the 3rd inning. Kiss had walked. He replaced Kiss. Oops, sorry, wrong button. There's a ground ball foul at the plate. For those of you who are wondering, that was a chocolate banana brownie that somebody just brought to me. People bring me food and I just eat it. I don't even ask. I was also recently gifted a banana. Actually, it's Bernd Radovic's mother brings me a banana at every home game. Pitches outside for ball 3-1. Now, I do not know who made this chocolate banana cake, but man, they are invited to my house. It was good. 3 balls and 1 strike. On Douglas Yoakum with 1 out here in the 5th. As a pop foul out of play. 3-2. And for those of you who have never been to Har Disciples Ballpark, The food selection here is pretty good. You got burgers. The burgers are very good. I can highly recommend them. And usually, I mean, it's like I said, everything is a labor of love. So we have volunteers making the burgers, volunteers who bake cakes and do things like that and bring it to sell, volunteers who run the food stand and drink service. Of course, you can buy beverages here and sit out in the sun. You can sit in the shade. There's a field off to the right where you can go play wiffle ball with your kids. You can walk around and enjoy the atmosphere. It's really great baseball atmosphere here. And strike three on the outside corner is called. Juan Salazar gets Douglas Yoakum looking. He's got 3 looking strikeouts today among his, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strikeouts, 3 looking, and all of them on the outside corner. That might be, I wonder if that's like a changeup that is sort of floating back. It looked like it was coming back. Interesting pitch. Almost like a screwball from the center field camera angle. So 2 outs, and now the top of the order, Vicente Velasquez, and he flies one to center field. Charging is Llewellyn. He's got it for out number 3. 2 flyouts and a strikeout, and Salazar back on track. Salazar pitching very well. 1, 2, 3 go the Storm here in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th coming up. About halfway through here in Haar. 2-1, the Disciples leading. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Hünstetten Storm. That is Gianfranco Rizzo, and he deals a strike. So 4 innings for Jose Pimentel. The hitter is Luke Steinlein, by the way. Steinlein is he's 1 for 2, but he crushed the ball both times. He lined a ball deep to the gap in right center that was caught by the right fielder, and then he lined a double, but then he was thrown out as he rounded the bag too far. So he's 1 for 2. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike on him. So 2, 3, and 4, Steinlein, Llewellyn, and Luder against Gianfranco Rizzo. The pitch is high, 3-1. I don't believe there are any other changes. I think that Rizzo just went straight into the game for Pimentel. I guess that's the thing. I wonder if they're going to do the Ohtani rule thing and leave Pimentel as a DH. I guess we will wait and see. He would be up. That 4th spot would be due up. There's a fly ball popped up off the end of the bat into shallow right field, and it's out of the reach of Gentry, and it lands for a base hit. So Steinlein, who crushed the ball twice, now bloops one over the head of the first baseman and is in at first base. And this time he does not round the bag too far. He stays put. And so Steinlein will lead off single, and now Fildrik Llewellyn will step up to the plate. Llewellyn is 1 for 2. RBI single and then a strikeout. That was, of course, against Jose Pimentel. Pimentel, who pitched 4 innings, allowed, well, I'll give you his numbers in a moment as the first pitch coming is way upstairs, breaking ball. Pimentel, 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs. Both were earned. 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. He threw 74 pitches. 37 were strikes. The bunt was shown, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Llewellyn, I don't think, is really going to bunt. Maybe he was just trying to fake out the infielders, get them to play up a little bit. That did not happen. And a strike at the top of the zone on the inside corner. Llewellyn not happy in the count 1-2. 1-2, the runner's going, the ground ball to right side, base hit, past the dive of Gentry and into right field. Going first to third is Steinlein as the throw comes in, and he is there. So excellent situational hitting as Llewellyn, with the runner going, just poked it into that vacated spot. The second baseman, Kiss, you see that slow breaking ball, he just waited on it and kind of flicked it. No chance for Gentry to cover that ball. And so first and third for the Disciples. And now Graham Luder steps up to the plate.
34 gesagt, 35, ja, 35, sorry.
Luder is 0 for 1. He grounded to short. He also walked. Up there now with runners on first and third. And there goes the runner, Llewellyn, from first, and they, well, Gianfranco Rizzo did not even bother paying any attention to him at all. And so the pitch was a strike, I presume. There's a swing and a fly ball, right field. This should be deep enough to score a run. Meyer is there, he makes the catch. Both runners tag. The throw goes to third. Steinlein scores. Llewellyn makes it to third, and the Disciples lead 3-1. On the sac fly off the bat of Luder. So Llewellyn had stolen second base and then went to third. So that's how that's going to get scored. So now Llewellyn's at third with only 1 out, and Callum Murphy steps up to the plate. So the infield will come in for the Storm as they will try to cut down Llewellyn at the plate on a ground ball hit at an infielder. And Murphy bloops one down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is fair. Base hit. And Llewellyn will score a base hit and an RBI for Callum Murphy. And the Disciples now lead 4-1. Hit him where they ain't. That ball off the end of the bat, and there was nobody within striking distance to try to catch that ball. Llewellyn with a great read was able to just walk home on that, no problem. So now Will Thorpe will step up to the plate. So Murphy, the runner at first with only 1 out. And Thorpe, a liner into center field. It's going to be caught on the fly by Yannick Kiss, a little blooper off the handle. And so there are 2 away. So 2 down. The Disciples leading 4-1. It's taking a minute for the scoring to update there, but it is 4-1. And Anderson Zambrano will step up to the plate. Murphy is at first. There he goes. The pitch taken for a strike. Throw to second base. Murphy is safe. He stole it. That was a very good throw by Velasquez. Right on the money to the shortstop, also Velasquez. But Murphy, who was going on first move, had a good jump and beat it. So he steals second base. 1 strike the count to Anderson Zambrano, who now has a chance to drive in a run. And a late swing 0-2. Servus Mad Max. Frohes neues Baseballjahr. Herzlich willkommen here by Hard Disciples Baseball. And a bunch of dancing going around at second base as Vicente Velasquez was running in behind Murphy. 0-2 on Anderson Zambrano. Breaking ball. Rolled to the right side. Kiss backhands it and throws to first to get Zambrano for the final out. But the Disciples get 2 runs. They get 2 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. There was 1 left on base. There was an error. No, there was no error. Excuse me. That was last inning. There was an error. We go to the 6th inning. It's the Disciples 4 and the Hünstetten Storm 1. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. To the top of the 6th inning, Tim Collins with you here, live from the ballpark Egelfing in Haar, just outside of lovely Munich in the wonderful state of Bavaria in Germany on the planet Earth. Anyway, that's where we are, and now Jake Gentry is stepping up to the plate. 2, 3, and 4, Gentry, Velasquez, and we'll see if Pimentel is going to be the DH or if Rizzo will bat. 2, 3, 4. So Gentry fouls away the first pitch. He's 1 for 2. He singled and drove home a run. Juan Salazar still out there for the Disciples. He's been very good. The pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's low again. Salazar so far, he's got, that was a ground ball, pulled down the first base line. It is a foul ball, just barely. Nope, it's a fair ball, excuse me. It's a fair ball. Is it foul? The home plate umpire said fair, and the baseline umpire said foul, but the ball bounced before it got to the bag, and I believe that means it's the home plate umpire's call. The Disciples played it, they thought it was an out. But you have two different umpires calling the ball, and now they're going to get together and discuss to see. Now, I don't know why the third base umpire is going to bother with this, because he definitely cannot see anything on this. But the home plate umpire called it fair, and the base umpire called it foul, but the ball bounced before the bag. So usually on ground balls that come down before the bag, it's the home plate umpire's call. Normally that's how that works. So we're going to see that this is Thomas Schlugel, the home plate umpire, and Hans-Joachim Kohler, the first base umpire. And it's going to be down to whether the two of them can agree on what it was. Now, the thing is, if it bounces, the ball bounced, so they're going to call it a foul ball. They're going to say it's a foul ball. Basically, the way that works, if the ball bounces before it gets to the bag, then it just has to go over the bag in fair territory. It does not have to land in fair territory. But to me, honestly, it looked like a fair ball. But, you know, I'm sitting offset as well. But Gentry is going to get another chance. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. And play will continue. Juan Salazar against Jake Gentry. And Salazar comes set. And a drive to deep right center field. Steinlein is back. He's got a beat on it, and he puts it away for the first out. No harm, no foul, literally, on that fair foul call. So there's 1 away, and Victor Velasquez, the catcher, will step up to the plate.
Die Nummer 96 an den Schlag. Victor Velasquez.
Now, I have 5 strikeouts in my book for Juan Salazar. On Easy Score, there are 4. I'm not sure how that's the case. Pitches inside. What did I miss? Did I miss something? One of the strikeouts was a wild, strikeout ground ball. There's a ground ball that gets through Callum Murphy into left field. And so Velasquez will reach. That's going to be an E5. Ball was hit hard, but it was right at Murphy. And I'm sure if you asked him, he would tell you. And so it is indeed Gianfranco Rizzo is going to step up to the plate. So he entered the game for Pimentel as a pitcher. And Rizzo now batting cleanup, hits a ground ball to the right side. Good glove work by Music. Throw to second, 1 on to first. It's a double play. That was beautiful. Music ranging to his left, then had to spin behind his body and throw to Henriquez, who was gliding across the bag and got off an accurate throw to first base, received on the back end by Luder. Watch it again. 4-6-3 on the double play, and the Disciples immediately pick up the error and pick up their teammates. So, in effect, it's a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, nobody left. At the end of 5.5, we go to the bottom of the 6th. Hard Disciples 4, Hünstetten Storm 1. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. As we get ready to go to the bottom of the 6th inning here in lovely sunny Haar, unbelievably in April, no matter. The Disciples leading 4-1 here in this first game of a weekend series. Game 2 will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. and the weather is supposed to be the same as today. And so all I can say is get here. When it's like this, there is nothing better. There's no better place, there's no better weather, there's no better atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. It's a full ballpark here. And Bernd Beastie Radovic is going to step to the plate. He popped out and walked. 8-9-1 for the Disciples against Gianfranco Rizzo. or John Rizzo. And the pitch is on the corner for a strike. Rizzo came in last inning and was knocked around. He gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Pimentel went 4. The pitch is high. He allowed 2 runs. Was a little bit wild, but avoided any big damage. There's a big swing by Radovic. Radovic nearly came out of his shoes in the count 1-2. Now, just to clarify, I mentioned that I have 5 strikeouts for Juan Salazar. There's a drive to left field and deep, and that is over the head of Joachim, and it's off to the races for Bernd Radovic. He's on his way to second base, and he's in with a double. Well, I told you not to let the 40 in the H column fool you. Just like Rogelio Maldonado on the other side, Radovic can still hit it. And you can hear the fans' love for Beastie Radovic as he is on second base. Zaino Henriquez will step up to the plate now. He was hit his last time, and a big swing comes up empty. 0 for 1. So anyway, just getting to that subject of the strikeouts for Juan Salazar. Now, I thought the first batter of the game struck out, and then it was a pitch in the dirt, and apparently it might have actually been a ball that was put in play, or a little ground ball that was fielded by Thorpe. Anyway, that's the way it was scored. So when you read the box score, know that that is a discrepancy in there. That's a slow breaking ball. Almost want to say that was an Ephus pitch, but I don't think it was. I think it slipped out of his hand. 2-1. That one's high. 3-1. Well, the main bugaboo for Hünstetten's pitching today has been the walks. The Disciples only have, well, they have 6 hits in the game, but that was coming into last inning. They only had 3. Now they have another walk, as Henriquez will take first base. Speed at first. Patrick Music will be the hitter. Music is 0 for 2. He walked and scored after stealing a base in the first inning, and then he flied out in the third and grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th. Here we are in the 6th. The Disciples with 2 on. He is showing bunt. Corner infielders are creeping in. He pulls it back, and the pitch is over his head. So Rizzo not close so far on some of the deliveries. One and 0, and it's in the dirt. 2-0. No sign of bunt this time from Music. The purple bat, the purple socks. He's got some dirt on those things now, though. That's a sign of a good day. Good day, work in progress, I guess. The result of this one, of course, still up in the air. Henriquez can get a big lead as the trail runner at first. He's not being held on. Noah Lawrence, by the way, is playing first base. I only just now noticed this. There's a strike. And the count is, I believe, 3-2. There's a hefty cut and foul to the screen. So I wonder, I think Gentry has, there's some defensive changes that we were not told about, or at least I was not told about for Hünstetten at the moment. Full count on Music. The pitch is outside. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. So I'll try to figure out what that is. So Luke Steinlein, who has swung the bat very well today. He has doubled, singled, and driven a ball deep to right field. Bases loaded. And the pitch is a strike at the top of the zone on the inside corner. There's nobody out in this inning. A double over the head of the left fielder Joachim for Radovic. And then Henriquez walked, Music walked. 1 strike to Steinlein. That breaking ball, no bite, too high, 1-1. Rizzo has pitched in the Bundesliga before. I remember him with Mannheim. I think he's pitched a couple of other teams. Off the top of my head, I do not remember. I've definitely seen him pitch very well. 1-1, just missed the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Steinlein in the driver's seat, bases loaded. Radovic at third, Henriquez at second. Music at first. The pitch popped up behind the plate over my head. I assume it will not hit me. So far I'm still here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steinlein. Two and 2 on him. Trying to drive home a couple of runs here. And it's in the dirt, ball 3. Full count, nowhere to put him. Bases loaded, nobody out. Yeah, Gentry is indeed playing second base. I figured this much out. Lawrence is at first. Maybe he went in for Yannick Kiss. And Steinlein lines it to right field. Meyer coming on, he makes the catch. And Radovic has to go back to tag, and now he won't be able to score. So there's 1 away. And the Hünstetten Storm catch a break. Radovic, not entirely sure he would have scored on that anyway. But he wasn't tagging, so that took away any possibility. So now Fildrik Llewellyn's turn with 1 out and the bases loaded. Radovic, Henriquez, and Music, the base runners. Breaking ball outside for a ball. Velasquez, the catcher, trying to really catch that as far over to the right in the webbing of his glove as he possibly could to steal a call. And the 0-1. Upstairs, 2-0. That was a 1-0 pitch. It's now 2-0. Sorry for my momentary lapse. Working quickly. And a swing and a miss at a pitch that was well out of the strike zone. Llewellyn trying to hit a 7-run home run with that swing. Two balls and a strike. Bases loaded, 1 out. And at the top of the zone, that's that pitch. That's a pitch that's been getting called today. 2-2 on Llewellyn. And now full count. Gianfranco Rizzo walked the bases loaded, then went 3-2, got Steinlein. Now he's 3-2 on Llewellyn. This is what's called walking the tightrope. Full count. Ball 4, and it's skips away, but no further advance. So bases loaded walk. Llewellyn gets his 2nd run batted in. So Radovic comes in to score. Enriquez to 3rd, Music to 2nd, and now bases remain loaded with only 1 out for Graham Luter. Luter, who hit a sacrifice fly for his first Disciples RBI his last time up. Also grounded out and walked today. He's Canadian with Hungarian roots. He's played for the Hungarian national team. Also played in Belgium and New Zealand. And a breaking ball bounces up there, backhanded by Velasquez. 1 ball, no strikes. Rizzo, more often than not, has not been able to throw that breaking ball for a strike. So Luter can really zero in on one here. And he got a very good pitch to hit and had a very good swing at it. Fouled it straight back. Rizzo just electing to challenge him. And sometimes when you're struggling with your command, it's just better to just rear back and try to throw a strike. But of course, that's sort of when you get into that situation where you might groove one, and that one is high. 2 balls and a strike, bases loaded. The Disciples leading 5-1. The score will update momentarily, I promise you. 2-1. And a ground ball left side, fielded at third by Martins. They go around the horn, but safe at first base because Lawrence had come off the bag. They do get the out, and a run scores. So Llewellyn is out number 2. He's out 5-4 on the force. Luder reaches on a fielder's choice and gets an RBI. Remember, you can't assume a double play. Henriquez scores. The Disciples lead 6-1. And now Callum Murphy will step up to the plate.
Callum Murphy.
So
yes,
time to watch this one more time. It went around the horn, but it wasn't hit hard enough to really turn the double play. And Murphy lines one into center field for a base hit and another run as Patrick Music will cross the plate. Callum Murphy has 2 hits and 2 runs batted in today. And the Disciples now lead 7-1 as that one brings home Music and pushes Luder to second base. 3 runs in the inning for the Disciples here. And that's going to bring a mound visit from Nick Pupo. Murphy didn't hit it all that hard off the end of the bat, but he placed it perfectly. Solid contact. And Will Thorpe is going to be the hitter, but first there's going to be a meeting at the mound as Pupo is out there to chat with Gianfranco Rizzo. Now Rizzo, presumably he's, it's probably his job to pitch as many innings as he possibly can in this game. Hünstetten, their American starter Jesse Remington will go tomorrow. That'll be Remington against Ryan Bollinger, a couple of left-handers doing battle. That should be a fun one. Remington got the win in Stuttgart. Well, he didn't get the win, but he pitched very well in a game. Did he get the win? He did get the win, I believe. Sorry, I apologize if you don't want to. I want to give credit where credit is due. If he got the win, he got the win. Anyway, he pitched very well. So that's the matchup for tomorrow. But for today, Nick Pupo hoping that Rizzo can find his release point and pitch to the end of this game. So it's 6-1 Disciples, 7-1. They've scored 3 times in this inning. Will Thorpe with runners on first and second. There's only 1 out in the inning. And he takes a strike at the top of the zone. Thorpe is 0 for 3. He has popped out twice and lined out. Luder's at second, Murphy's at first. Looked at the wrong part of my scorecard. There's a pop-up foul behind the plate. Looks like it's going to stay in play for Velasquez. And he squeezes it just to the left of the Disciples D for the 3rd out of the inning. But a very good inning for the Disciples. They get 3 runs on 1, 2, on only 2 hits. No errors and 2 left on base. We go to the 7th inning here in Haar. It's the Disciples 7 and the Hünstetten Storm 1. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, brought to you by the Brauerei Wildbräu. So we go to the top of the 7th inning, and the Disciples have gone to the bullpen. It's going to be the right-hander Tom Kruger. Kruger is going to come in relief of Juan Salazar. Salazar really pitched very well. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks. Now, officially, it's going to go down as 4 strikeouts, but you and I both know he had 5. Although that might, that can be changed, I think, after the game. At the moment, in the official scoring, it says 4, but there's 5. There were 5 strikeouts. 89 pitches he threw, 53 of them strikes, and his day is done. And so Tom Kruger will pitch, and Kruger will deal with 5, 6, and 7. Rogelio Maldonado, Daniel Martins, and Noah Lawrence, who went into the game for Phil Meyer. And the first pitch from Kruger is in for a strike. The Disciples leading by a score of 7-1. I'm going to put up the manual scoreboard until such time as the easy score gets updated. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. We're on the top of the 7th inning. 7-1 Haar leading. They scored a run in the first. Hünstetten tied it in the 3rd. Then the Disciples with 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th. And now a breaking ball, swing and a miss. And Rogelio Maldonado swings over the top and strikes out for the 2nd time today. Kruger gets a quick first out. And so now Daniel Martins will step up to the plate. Martins has singled and walked. He's been on base both times. Tomorrow, it'll be Ryan Bollinger versus Jesse Remington. The return of Ryan Bollinger. Pitch is low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. And there's a strike to Martins, 1-1. Kruger was with the Disciples last year. Had a little bit of experience with them. Pull up his stats for you in a moment. There's a drive to left center field. Llewellyn is on the run, and he pulls it down. Very easy out there for Fildrick. Ball was well hit, but he covered ground easily and had a very good read on that ball. So that's the 2nd out of the inning. Kruger last year only pitched for 4 innings for the Disciples. So he's, hoping to get a little bit more experience this year with them. Pitches inside to Noah Lawrence. Lawrence came in and played first base last half inning. 1-0 the count to him, a big right-hand hitter. And a strike at the knees in the outside corner. Good pitch from Tom Kruger. One and one. That's down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Disciples leading 7-1. Getting closer there with the scoreboard. 2-1. There's a ground ball to 3rd. Murphy gloves it and throws to first in time, and Tom Kruger comes in and has a 1-2-3 inning. Time to stretch here in Haar. It is 7-1 Disciples. This is the bottom of the 7th inning. And let's see what happens here. Are they going to do the song? Are they going to do it?
Yes.
Yes, gut. Danke, das wollte ich hören.
to the bottom of the 7th inning, and 7-1 the Disciples lead. New pitcher on the mound for the Storm, and that is Noah Lawrence, who came in and played first base. First pitch is drilled to deep right field, and that's going to be deep into the gap. A base hit off the bat of Anderson Zambrano, and he's in second base, standing with a double. It went over the head of a right fielder whose name I do not know, because I can't see who went out there. That may be, well, it's a left-hander. I'm not sure who's out there in right field. Jake Gentry has gone back to first base. Lawrence is on the mound. And Kiss was in right field before, but that is not him now, so I don't know who's in. I don't know who's in right field. There's a pitch that's taken for a strike. This is Simon Lechner batting for Bernd Radovic, and he lines one into center field. That's a base hit. Zambrano being waved around. He is going to score. The Disciples lead 8-1. So amidst all the changes, a lot of wheels turning here. The Disciples now lead 8-1. And Lechner with a line drive single to drive home a run. After the double from Zambrano. And a check on Simon, and he dives back. Zaino Henriquez is the hitter. And Lawrence deals a strike. Nothing in one. But you can see a lot of the young talent really on both of these teams. Lawrence, I believe, is very young as well. And almost a slide step delivery that time. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a lollipop breaking ball. That one was even closer to an eephus pitch than the one before that was thrown by Rizzo. Not sure what that was. Fastball up and in, 3-1. Zaino Henriquez has walked, been hit by a pitch, and grounded out. His walk was with the bases loaded.
I don't know who's in the, okay, that was my, I saw left-handed, thought maybe it's right. So he's in right field. Remington must be in right field.
All right, so Remington, Jesse Remington, tomorrow's starting pitcher, is in the game in right field. So he went into, he will bat in the 4th spot. Sorry, just keeping track of all the chaos here in the roster changes. So Henriquez draws the walk. And now the top of the order. And that's a strike to Patrick Music. Music walked, scored in the 1st inning, flied out in the 3rd, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th, walked and scored again in the 6th. Outside 2-1. He's got 2 on. The Disciples have had runners on seemingly all over the place, but actually, when you think back to the early part of the game, there were 2nd and 3rd innings when Jose Pimentel was very good. There's a ground ball base hit past the 3rd baseman. Martins into left field, and around 3rd is Simon Lechner. The throw comes to the plate. It is too late. He scores. And the Disciples lead 9-1. It's an RBI single off the bat of Patrick Music. And now, when you take a look at the score and see 9-1, the 2 runners that are on base, if they should score, this game would end via the 10-run mercy rule, which does kick into effect after 7 innings. So the Disciples are going to try to do that right here and now. Luke Steinlein at the plate. He has swung the bat well today. He's got a single and a double. Flied out twice, and the pitch is high. You got the part of the order up that can do damage quickly in Steinlein, Llewellyn, and then Luter. It's been a productive day all around. 1 through 9 for the Disciples. Ground ball to 3rd. Fielded at the bag by Martins. He steps on it and throws to 1st in time, and that's a double play. He had to really fire it because he juggled the ball initially, but then he stepped on 3rd and bounced the throw over to 1st, which was picked nicely by Gentry. And he had a lot on that throw, a good good play by Martins. 5-3 double play. And so now Music goes to second base. Excuse me. Yes, Music is at second base. Henriquez was out. And hold all of your thoughts regarding the 10-run rule. Fildrick Llewellyn is at the plate. And the pitch is low. First one was also low. 2-0 the count to him. And we got some folks from Boston, the city where I was born. Thanks for tuning in, Tyrone. Pitch is up high to Llewellyn and the count 2-0. Now, I was born in Boston, but I got to say, I'm a Yankees fan. Although, really, I'm an Expos fan, because that's the part of New York I'm from. That was ball 4. Nowhere close. Noah Lawrence to Llewellyn. And now Graham Luter will step up to the plate with, again, the game-ending runs on first and second. You got Music at second base, Llewellyn at first. Luter has 2 runs batted in, an RBI and a sac fly and a fielder's choice. He's also grounded out and walked. Runners dancing off the bags. They're going. The pitch is taken for a strike. No contest. The Disciples, you can see they're going for it. They want a base hit right here to end this game. Velasquez did not appear to be thrilled with that. But, you know, that's one of those things. There is strategic value in ending a game early, saving the arms. You got another game tomorrow. And, you know, the unwritten rules of like, oh, you're ahead by running, that doesn't really apply here because you have a 10-run rule. Pitch is upstairs. Now, that whether or not players feel that way all the time is another matter, but there is a legit reason to do that. You got 2 outs. A base hit would score possibly 2 runs. That pitch is outside. Ball 2, 2-1. So the Disciples trying to end this game right here. 2-1 pitch. Line drive. There's a base hit. Music is coming in. Let's see if they can bring home the next run. They're going to have to hold him up as the ball was not hit all that deep into the outfield, and that was a wise stop by Charles Poe. And so Music scores. Llewellyn, the game-ending run, goes to third. It's an RBI single. 3rd run batted in. Good day for Graham Luter. And the Disciples lead 10-1. And now Callum Murphy, who's also having a good day at the plate. 2 hits, a walk, 2 runs batted in. That's the first Disciples base hit for Graham Luter. And Murphy takes a strike. Don't forget, tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. local time. And that's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Noah Lawrence trying to get through this inning, keep things going. 2 outs. That one is over the head to the backstop, but no advance as it ricocheted back to the catcher. Well, that was a chance right there. Velasquez racing back to the screen to go retrieve that ball. You know, sometimes it takes a weird carom. That one sort of just died. So 2 balls and 1 strike. That's upstairs, ball 3, 3-1. Will Thorpe is on deck. Llewellyn is on third base. And a strike at the top of the zone. That pitch has been called pretty consistently today. It's an uncomfortable strike. That's a very difficult pitch to hit for the right-handed hitters. And the 3-2. A high fly ball to left field. This is sending Yoakum back. Can he find it in the sun? He dropped the ball, and Llewellyn scores, and that's the ball game. Murphy is still circling the bases. He stops. Both runners came home, but once Llewellyn touched home, I think that's it. We'll see how that gets scored. But Yoakum, you could see that was a very tough play in left field. It was a towering fly ball. It was very deep. It was on the warning track. And Joachim is still sitting out in left field. Not an easy play by any stretch of the imagination. But all in all, it's a very good ball game. Sort of got out of hand towards the end, but some entertainment for both sets of fans. The Disciples win their home opener here by a score of 11-1 over the Hünstetten Storm. We will be back tomorrow. So I don't know exactly how that's going to be scored, whether it's going to be an error on the left fielder or if it's going to be a base hit. But the final score, the Haar Disciples 11, and the Hünstetten Storm 1. The Disciples scoring 4 runs in this inning to end it early and send everyone home. So I'm going to do the totals myself because there have been some issues with Easy Score. So if you just hang on for a moment, I got to add up all the horrible handwriting in my scorecard. The Hünstetten Storm only had 3 hits this game. 1 run, 3 hits, if I have that correct. Now they had 4 hits in the game. They made it, well, they might have made 2 errors. That last play, I'm going to call that an error. The Disciples with 11 runs. How many hits did they have? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits. Maybe 12, depending on how you score the last one. And an excellent ball game from Juan Salazar. He will get the win. And Jose Pimentel will get the loss. Game ending at about 3:30. Just a beautiful day for baseball. So we will be back with you tomorrow. Same time, same channel.